Welcome back to Wormhole Extremists, Lost City Part 1 and 2, the feature-length cut. My name is David. I'm with Nicole.
Hello.
And Evie.
Hello.
This is the feature length that runs all the way through, so this one will have no break. Where is this, Evie? Jack's bathroom.
Jack's bathroom, absolutely.
Evie's favorite place.
Well, I don't know about that, but adjacent to maybe? I don't know.
It is adjacent to the bedroom, probably.
Yeah, exactly. I was just trying to be a bit silly. So this episode was written by Brad Wright and Robert C. with Martin Wood directing, and the two-part story was originally conceived as a 120-page feature film to end SG1 and launch into Atlantis. But when it was renewed for season 8, they adapted it into this finale, and I believe that this had the largest budget since Children of the Gods, which makes sense with the ending.
Daniel continues indistinctly.
I love that.
In the captions. Oh, that's funny.
And the crossword puzzle reference particle physics. So Jack is listing the 6 types of quarks. I didn't actually understand this reference. So Daniel's immediate answer of strange, I think, kind of suggests that maybe he's picked up some knowledge from Sam over the years, being that it's like
so strange is one of the quarks?
Some particles. Yeah, it is. It's quark is up, down, charm, strange, top, and bottom.
Amazing.
Oh, wow. I finally get it
so you didn't know that either.
No,
yeah.
I didn't.
I wondered if that was the case, but I didn't get it. I was like, I feel like this is an answer he's giving him, but a joke one that Jack's not going to get.
Yes.
And me being basically Jack, because the audience, I also don't get it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Elizabeth Weir.
Yes.
The OG.
I'm getting goosebumps.
Yes.
I love Jessica Steen. I love her.
I think she does a good job. So obviously Tori Higginson takes over in season 8 in Atlantis, and I believe David, you interviewed Jessica on Dial the Gate, and she revealed that she wasn't very familiar with SG1 at all before being cast, but she described herself as a bit of a softcore sci-fi fan. And she deliberately went in thinking she didn't need to know anything, and she was planning to learn everything alongside the fans as her character discovered the truth about the Stargate program. Also, that Russian man is Igor Morozov, and he's actually
Russian.
from Desperate Measures. Yeah, he played a roadblock soldier. And the secret agent person that we saw is Mark Pawson, and he was a reporter in Chain Reaction, and he also appears in Atlantis's Trinity and Continuum.
There we go.
Which is kind of cool.
Robert Kinsey's back. He has a lot of stuff this season.
Yeah, he does.
Well, tell us how you really feel, Evie. And then it's like, Ronnie Cox is back. Yay!
He's such a good character, but he's a good character that you just love to hate.
That's it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him go.
He does such a fantastic job at that. I feel like pretty real emotions whenever his character comes on screen, but that means he's doing a good job.
That's it.
Indeed.
It's working.
Let me just see here.
Because we've all seen villains who are like, this doesn't work. This doesn't work. You know?
Yeah.
It's just, that's awful.
He's such a great villain. He like pops out of the screen and makes you have like an actual like visceral reaction. So I believe that Amanda Tapping shot all of her scenes over 16 days while she was simultaneously preparing to direct Resurrection.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes, because Resurrection was shot after.
It was, yeah, that was the last one that they shot this season, and I believe that this limo scene. Let me see what I've got here. So Kinsey, so I was kind of looking at this limo scene and comparing it to the last time we had Kinsey and a limousine. So he kind of seems to have a weird habit of intercepting people in limousines on their way to meet the president. Except, like, this time, instead of cancelling the meeting like he did with Jack, he's hoping to turn Weir into some sort of willing ally before she gets there.
It's like the weirdest, most threatening carpool. When's the karaoke gonna start?
Yeah, exactly. David, when you interviewed Robert C. In one of your many interviews, he praised Ronnie Cox's performance, and he said that they would have him back any time that they could because he made such a good foil. And Robert said that Kinsey wasn't written as an arch villain necessarily,
Martin
but he
Wood.
was often right, and it is Martin Wood, often right and simply on one side of the argument. So this episode sort of represents the culmination of a character that had been percolating for years.
Oh, very
was
much
his
so.
words. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was I saying "Oh my God" in the limo? Isn't that a bit longer in the normal cut?
I don't think so.
I feel like
I
it went
don't
on a few
know.
seconds longer. Maybe I'm just delulu.
Very good. They're working on the door there. The door is broken. I never noticed that before.
You wrote the word "fat."
That's
Oh, my favorite.
I love the little exchanges between SG1 and this episode.
This crossword
Reynolds.
is really just
It's
the best part of this
adorable.
episode.
Reynolds has been let in on the action now.
I'm so
Yeah,
happy for him. He deserves
absolutely.
this.
He does.
Yeah.
So,
So this is a Friday, by the way.
it is a it is a Friday. And I was going to say, in terms of, the weekly schedule, I think Martin Wood said something about how they used to save up their Rick days.
Yes.
So that they saved up a whole heap so that they could feature him as much as possible in this finale.
Brilliant. Yeah, that's why he's so absent so much. Because
Yes.
they need him here.
Saving him up.
By the way, in case the audience isn't aware, Nicole does have a cold right now. So
I think
You
you're doing
actually
pretty
don't
good
sound too
considering.
congested.
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel it.
Whatever you took is working. The
Yeah.
Jack and Daniel is a nice nod to previous
Yep.
seasons.
Yeah.
Actually, they're the way that they relate to each other in these two episodes is like peak
Yes, very
Jack
much
and Daniel,
so.
I think.
Oh, the
Yeah.
chemistry is
The
fantastic.
chemistry is like popping.
I've invited Eric Brecker on. He said no.
Oh, that's so
Oh,
sad.
That's okay.
Yep.
He's
I
got
mean, you know
probably
what?
other
I've
things
invited
going
people
on. It
on
was
who
a
have
long
said
time
no that
ago.
say yes later. So you know what?
That's
Yeah,
it. He might come
maybe.
around.
Come back around.
Yeah.
So I think since season 6, the writers have been sort of systematically eliminating Earth's allies to set up this story.
They're doing
where
what they
Earth
did in season
faces a
5.
threat
Correct.
completely alone.
Yeah.
And I think Hammond's about to say about the alien allies being unreliable, sort of directly references this
Oof.
plot.
It's an arc in the hero's journey. You know, the hero has masters and has assistants along the way to advise, but at the darkest hour, the hero stands alone. And in this case, the hero is
Yeah.
this unit.
That's it.
And I'm sad
yeah.
because the Toker aren't there, and I'm still bitter about it, and I'll forever be bitter. But you know what? Not everything's always going to be hunky dory, is it? So
Mm-hmm.
No, you can't always count on your allies. I think you need to have the strength to be able to stand on your own 2 feet.
damn right.
Yeah.
Still sucks.
Oh yeah, 100% sucks.
So I just want to say as well, I watched Stargate in a fangled order, right? So I saw none of season 6 or 7, and
Okay.
I jumped straight to Daniel dying, straight to this.
Which one?
And when-
Meridian?
Meridian.
Okay,
yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, what happened?
You saw
What
some
did I
heavy
miss?
episodes back to back.
But I also had not seen the original Headsucker episode, so
Mm.
I hadn't seen Fifth Race. So I went, sorry, what is this? They did a great job recapping it for me as a child to understand, so I appreciate the writing.
Yeah, the way that you watch Stargate just makes me like I've got like a tick that I've developed.
I know. We're almost past the worst of the worst. This is like the most damaging thing, I think, was watching this when I did. And we already got past season 2, which is one of the last seasons I ever watched. So, yeah.
Season 2 was the last season you ever watched.
Yeah.
Wow.
My mum bought
Wow.
me the DVD because my stepdad deleted the recordings from our TV.
Oh,
Punished me for being a
stepdad.
naughty teenager. So,
Oh, wow.
Let's not get into
Yeah,
my
punishment.
punishments. Jeez.
yeah, mine wasn't that bad. What a way to be punished. But it really got me in my heart. Stargate means
Oh, I
the
bet
world.
it did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Try going into the yard and picking your own switch off the tree.
Ooh.
Yeah. All right, gang. Beautiful shots.
Let's go. The action in this episode is great. Although, like, I've seen so many behind the scenes for this. It's oh yeah, what I will say as well, I remember the behind the scenes of Michael Shanks being told it's almost like Jack's like washing you when the phone is under the water in the sink. And so Michael Shanks like kind of opens up his jacket a bit and starts like pretending that like Richard Dean Anderson is like giving him a soothing shower. And then
was that seriously?
Yeah, and then he pushes the
that's
camera
funny.
away as like a joke, you know.
That's cute.
Of course,
Yeah.
that's really cute. So there's kind of a, I guess you could kind of call it like a continuity error. So we can see this large monument
Colonnade
and it sort of
continuity?
appears and disappears between shots.
Interesting.
So you can sort of see it when they arrive, you see it here, and when they retreat. But when they're examining the repository, it kind of just it looks very small, like as you can see it here. So I think this would have been the far left.
Yeah,
of
we saw the
big
figures in the wide
monuments.
shot. We saw the figures, at the bottom on the left.
I love
But,
that
I
they
mean,
were like,
that'd
let's
just be-
save money by just
Yeah.
having a foot.
No one will notice.
Look, even in Star Wars, Yavin disappears for the entire Death Star sequence once they go in close. So you got a huge red gas giant in the
right.
sky, and they didn't shoot it. So in one of the fan re-releases,
wow.
they reinsert Yavin. So you know what? You got to give him some
Yavin,
credit.
Get your moment in the
do.
sun.
That's it.
So
The gas giant.
so these alien world scenes were actually filmed in the grass fields around Maple Ridge, and due to the unusually warm weather and the wildfire risk, I think the effects team sprayed like 10,000 gallons of water on the fields
Yep.
before filming.
Bags of gasoline,
And,
burying bags of gasoline and exploding them. yeah.
Gasoline,
Mm-hmm.
gasoline
Yeah.
explosions, and the Maple Ridge Fire Department was, of course, on standby.
Absolutely.
This is one of those scenes, like the shooting about to come up, is one of the only times I accept the stormtrooper aim, because Anubis doesn't want to destroy this device.
No.
So
true.
Yeah.
their
He
aim
has an
being
agenda.
absolute arse makes sense for once. So
Yes.
yay.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
dear.
They've done a better job of the prop morphing from one version to the other, because it's just
Yeah.
it's a morph. That's all it is.
Yeah.
They've got
they've
different
had a few
versions of
years.
it, and then
That is Ron Blecker.
yep.
That said about the multiple bogies. So he's the show's military advisor throughout all
That's
10
cool.
seasons, and this is his first credited on-screen appearance as a SG3 airman. And I believe he actually owns a company that provides weapons-trained performance and military police consultants to film and television productions, which is pretty cool.
There you go.
And also they were keeping the wormhole active to prevent enemies from coming through, which is a very Gore-Wall sort of tactic.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they've adopted it because it makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They could have done that before, like as soon as the ships came into orbit. So they're kind of lucky.
Yeah.
Oh, Lost
Also, the
City, Schmoss
C4
City.
The C4 kind of moves about 6 inches between shots.
Oh yeah, look at that.
And you can clearly see that the monument has shrunk because, like, based on its original size, these pillars should have been the toes from the
Amazing.
left-hand side, and
Yeah.
the rest of the right side should be visible behind Jack, but it's completely gone.
Is it supposed to be the toes?
I think it's supposed to be the toes.
I think it's like
It is the toes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I figured
Yeah,
it was
he's
the
sitting on a chair.
base that they.
Toes.
Yeah, but I mean, his foot is
Yeah.
awfully. I thought his foot was above that. But anyway, we'll see.
But yeah, look,
Oh
there's
yeah,
nothing
look at
above it
that.
either.
There sure isn't. Man.
That's okay. They're saving all of their
Here we
their,
go.
their
Yeah,
budget
you're
for
right.
the last.
So, ladies and
couple of
gentlemen, Jack is
sequences.
doing his why. I don't like that the thing that wraps around his head has no movement. Well, it does kind of there, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's just me.
Oh, there's the shot
complaining.
from the first time. Classic.
Yeah,
Aw.
that's it. Nice reuse where appropriate.
Yeah, so when I was a kid and I first watched this, I went, sorry, what? Who are the ancients and what is happening?
That's exactly
What's
right.
the Lost
God.
City? What are they talking about? And then all
No
of a
idea
sudden
what's
I'm
going
in
on.
Atlantis and I'm going, what?
See, just
before I
it
know
just
it, you know.
appears again.
I suppose
Yeah, I'm
that
pretty
it's
sure
just
that's where they
toes.
were.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
on the toes.
Interesting. Good
Damn.
use. This episode is a great balance of action moments,
Yep.
VFX moments, and
Yes.
slow character pieces. Man, what a sequence! That's one of the best from the show, right there.
Yeah.
See,
it is
now
very
the
good.
terrible aim is not as acceptable. Because
Yeah.
it's like, guys, just
Yeah,
end
that's
it.
all over now. Yeah. Do you notice the gliders are shaped a little differently? The
No, I
wings, the
didn't
wings are
notice that.
straighter. Yeah, go back and look
Yeah.
at them. They're more
Ah.
sweeping. They're not curled.
So Anubis likes his
Whose glider's nice and straight.
sweeping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that would maybe it's a perspective thing. I don't know.
Maybe.
I have to go and look. That is so cool. Get your Alkesh here. And your plasma torpedoes.
So there's kind of a bit of a continuity error. The gate appears to close immediately after SG1 comes through, but there are other team members like right behind them.
Oh, good point. Yeah.
Yeah, that
Also,
is fast. Wow.
The grey-haired soldier that's kind of limping, that is Jason Calder, who appears as another SG3 soldier. And by this point, he had actually acted in 13 previous episodes of Stargate and performed stunts in 17 SG1 episodes.
Wow.
I love how employed these people are on this show. It makes me happy.
And
Back
I
in the
believe
White
in the
House.
original script, there was a elaborate parachute sequence from a cargo shipper that was cut
For
budget
part 2.
reasons.
Yes.
So
That was part 2?
That was
Okay,
part 2.
I've
They were
got
supposed
that
to
in the wrong
parachute
bit.
into the cave.
Ah.
Oh,
Rather than
I opened up
rings.
my TikTok today, and immediately I saw the X-Men 2 scene where they attack the White House, and I was like,
what a
"That's perfect timing,"
coincidence.
because I'm going to see that set
Yes.
all day today. So
Yes. So I think Martin Wood said that because of the X-Men 2 restrictions, they had to be very careful with how they used the set. And they had to be very careful.
So they were still
what
filming
they
the
did so
movie.
it didn't damage it. That's my understanding.
I
Because it
didn't
said
know that.
it literally said they had strict instructions not to damage it. So they had to be very careful, particularly where Anubis appears as a hologram to the
which is
Okay.
super, super interesting because Tanith, who is no longer in the show, he was in X-Men 2. So
Oh, what a coincidence.
yeah,
That's
a
right.
lot of crossovers.
So William Devane obviously returns as President Hayes.
Yes.
And Martin Wood praised William's portrayal, especially appreciating that he played a very capable president who asks for information instead of, assuming that he has all of the information.
Is it weird that he
And,
sounds like a president to me? Like he has that kind of
He
voice.
does. He has a presidential look.
Yeah.
That's
does.
why they cast him, and that's why he has been cast as a president so many times before, because he just has this like look of authority about him, but also kind of a calming aura. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was going to say as well that I believe that Jessica Steen said that she felt intimidated coming into such an established cast as a guest star, holding a position of power, especially when she's telling the leads what was happening. And I don't know
Right.
whether it was sort of nervousness was like bleeding through her work at all, or if it was a deliberate acting choice. But I think it works perfectly for that past scene with the president. She
I
was
do
like.
too.
We was literally in uncharted territory.
You would be
so.
in shock. You just found out
Oh.
that aliens exist. And,
And
that there
you're
are
meeting
other
the president.
planets. And you're meeting the
Yeah.
president of the United States.
Yeah.
That was the only thing you knew
Massive
you were going to
day.
do when you went to bed last night.
Yes.
Like
Jacob said,
Kay says, imagine what you'll know tomorrow.
Jacob said 5 languages. She's got nothing on Dr. Jackson.
That's it.
Yeah.
22. 23 if you include Unas.
Yep, she's got to up her game.
Mars SpaceX said, does anyone else think the device was not meant to download all the knowledge, but could be downloaded in specifics like Merlin's device? But O'Neill doesn't know how to use it. So
So the
that's why. I
Asgard
do wonder
say
that.
it's not meant for us, which suggests
Yeah.
that the capacity of an ancient mind could handle it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you could maybe download chunks at a time.
Yeah.
Maybe.
If it was broken, if one of them was broken, I would get that happening. But two of them have now done the same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So, but it's a good thought.
Yeah.
New government division, the International Oversight Advisory.
Yes.
IOA. We're gonna have so much fun with them.
Oh man, because politics is so much fun.
Yeah.
Oh, it just scrambles my brain. So this conversation obviously reveals the broader political implications of the Stargate program potentially going public, which sets up major changes for the series. And I believe there was even a cut scene where the president tapes his address,
That's
revealing
correct,
the
and it was
Stargate
used
program to the public.
and it was used in Continuum.
Oh, that's cool. It's good that they were able to reuse that because that's pretty awesome.
Yep,
That was reused footage.
that's it. He's in the
That's
oval
so
on the TV screen. He's like, this can only play
Yeah.
for so long. Yeah,
Yeah.
because sooner or later it will go public. And,
It will, yeah.
I think he's right. People will panic.
Yeah.
So I think the version that we see in The Road Not Taken is a very realistic possibility.
So I had this misunderstanding when I was growing up. I think just talking to the wrong people about why they replaced Dr. Weir. And someone once said to me that's because Tori Higginson had a more tough exterior
No.
and could be the. I know that's not the case anymore. Your interview,
I
like,
will
really
reveal the
showed me
reason
that.
in the second half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember being like, that sounds weird. Okay. And now I know the truth. I'm like, oh wow, I hate that people told me lies.
The
So we're going to
middle
hear his catchphrase, never going to happen.
never gonna happen.
Anyway,
That's
so
it.
David,
Middle
go for it.
left is Bonnie Arbuthnot, the first Get in the Gate winner through Sci-Fi Channel. This
that's so
went on for
cool.
several years. So she was a Stargate fan. She was the first one who won.
Yes.
Her alternate take that they did at least 2 or 3. She said he also said in another version, "I hope you brought your checkbook."
Oh, that would have
love
been
that.
cool to include. I
I
didn't
would
know
have
that
loved
bit.
to have been old enough to do the Get in the Gate competitions. It would have meant so much. But I
Here we
want a
go,
different
he's doing it
competition
again.
that got me friendship and this podcast. So a win is a win.
Yeah. Look at that expression on her face.
Yeah, she sees
He's
right through him, and I'm glad she
disgusting.
does.
Yeah. You slimy son of a.
Snake.
Here we go.
Oh, I know.
Here we go. Oh, God, I really want donuts now.
Why donuts?
Sort of.
Because Teal'c's about to bring donuts in a few
Teal
minutes.
brings donuts.
Does he bring donuts? Okay.
Yeah,
He does,
I
yeah.
was like,
Teal
I remember
always brings
donuts from
donuts.
Chimera, but yeah.
Nah. Oh, he's got donuts.
And they order a pizza, which we never see.
Yeah, actually, because they think Hammond's the
No, we
pizza boy.
don't.
Uh-huh.
They do, yeah. You're not the usual pizza delivery.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think I
this is
paused
big.
and rewound the scene so many times growing up.
Oh, yeah. Me too.
Yeah, this is...
But I think
Go ahead.
Funny story,
sorry.
really.
Yeah, go ahead.
it's. Oh, I was just going to say, I think for two people who sort of can't admit their feelings, this is a pretty big scene. So
It's so
Sam,
loaded.
like, unconsciously drives to Jack's house, and then she suggests that she should have taken the ancient knowledge instead,
Right.
and then he calls her a national treasure.
I
So
know.
I think it's their like deflection heavy language. You know, she's
Yeah.
saying she couldn't stay away, and he's saying that she's irreplaceable. It's just like
I know.
So Gecko Fat Web says, I has food because I knew this was going to happen.
Yeah, damn. You know
well
what?
prepared.
I've got mini donuts in the next room. I'm going to break them out between
You're gonna have to go have
episodes.
some.
So
Yeah.
she picked up a baby picture of Wiley.
Ah.
That's not
is
not
that
Charlie. It's
Wiley?
Wiley.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I love that they included that. That's
Yeah.
adorable.
I can wash one. I love that he has no clean glasses.
Yep.
Well, if you're
Typical
if you're
guy.
expecting to die, then why bother doing the washing up?
Yeah. But like, how many glasses is one guy using? Just reuse that one glass.
It's probably what he does. He probably just takes the nearest one, washes it, and reuses it.
Oh gosh. So I do love that she came in and was like, "Oh, funny story," and then I love that in a minute Daniel and Teal are going
Funny.
to come in and go, "Funny
Yeah.
story."
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah. They spend too much time with each other. They're just inside of each other's heads.
Yeah.
Yeah. Finish your beer. You haven't even started your beer.
Mars SpaceX, I have been relieved of my command line is crushing. Yeah, I'll never forget that. What were
I
they
love that
going
they-
to say had they not been interrupted?
I know they're sitting here trying to have a conversation. It's all very loaded and awkward, and it's so
They're
it's
so
so funny that
awkward with each other.
I know it hurts me. And Daniel and Teal coming in breaks that tension, and like they all have such a good chemistry together that it all becomes easy again. But this is hard. You know?
So this National Treasures bit is not in all of them?
It's not in all of them. No, the Netflix version had it cut, and I was devastated.
Just to trim 2 seconds out?
Yep, a couple
Wow.
a couple
Trim
moments were
something else,
trimmed.
surely.
I know. Yeah.
The syndicated version of Continuum has the only scene that's removed is the scene of Daniel talking to himself. Calling
That's a great
himself,
scene.
calling himself and saying, you're right,
How
Dr.
dare
Jackson,
they?
you're right. It doesn't matter who I am, you're right. So
Yeah, so UK Netflix cut it out, and I remember I didn't have the DVDs or any other way to watch it at the time, like accessible. So I ended up watching it on Netflix and being really pissed when I realized one of my favorite moments was taken out. So
Urias never enjoyed the Sam Jack
Just
hidden love
impeccable
thing.
timing
Yeah.
as always, Daniel.
They were interrupted, and the way that they're kind of like almost like kind of frustrated at it, like what were they gonna
I think
say?
they're
I wish
frustrated,
I'd
but also
known.
kind of relieved.
Yeah,
It gets pushed off yet again.
Yeah.
yeah,
Let's
forever.
put a pin in that
Is that one
again.
of the plants that's in Atlantis? I'm just
I'm
curious.
sure. I'd
Oh,
love it to be. That'd be funny.
The potted plants in the hallway there. It's a
galaxy
funny
hopping
story.
plant.
See these little bits of comedy.
Yeah, he
She
does
just
have a
looked at me
box
and
of
did the
donuts. There
eyebrow
we
thing.
go.
Excellent.
It's donuts. Excellent. Yes, Montgomery Burns.
Uh,
Excellent.
okay,
So
so just
good.
for a second, you can actually see David Pelfey's wrist under the coat
You can?
when he
Amazing.
raises his hand to silence them. Just a little tiny bit, just a little bit of skin. Just when he turns his wrist, you can
Oh,
see
there
like
it
a little
is!
bit
Oh
of
my
skin. Yeah.
God!
Wow. Never noticed that. Ruining the magic.
I thought he was a real, like, half-ascended being. So this is cranberry juice, according to the DVD commentary. And I think Joseph Malozzi said that this gathering scene was one of his favorite moments of the season because it shows the team as friends
They
rather
never do it.
than
Yeah.
just colleagues.
Yeah.
And
They never have the
Daniel's,
time in the story.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
So this is
There's
one
there's like more
story in
important
two
stuff.
episodes. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think Daniel's alcohol
This
intolerance
is so
kind of
good.
reminds me of Doc Brown in Back to the Future
Yeah.
Part 3 when he's
Yeah.
like kind of sort of acting drunk, but he's still
Actually,
cradling
what I
his
could
first
really
drink.
use is Tylenol. Yeah.
But the bartender said that's his first one
That's
and
his
he
first
hasn't even
one.
touched it
Yeah.
yet.
Oh, it's because he was down about Clara. So
Yes.
Burns as Gould, is he meaning that Burns is like a Gould?
I think so. Like there's
Okay.
elements of Gouldness
Oh
about
yeah, for sure.
Burns. Yeah. And he mentioned giving it to Sylar, so that comes up again in Reckoning Part 2.
It
That's
does.
right.
Yeah.
Goes to silent.
Yeah.
He gets it.
The way that Hammond just walked straight in.
Oh, Hammond.
He owns that entryway.
Yeah.
I miss Don.
Me too.
Yeah.
This is the last regular episode for him.
Oh my God.
Yes,
Yeah.
it absolutely is a part of the regular cast. Yeah.
I'm so thankful that I got to know him.
Yeah, I'm quite envious of that
That's not why I'm
because
saying
he
it, but
seems
yeah.
like such an amazing guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want a Guinness now. I want a Guinness and I want a donut. I've got my week planned. I'm doing that.
Guinness and donut. Week
Yep.
complete.
I'm going to send you some pictures during the week of me having both.
I know
or-
you will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guinness
Oh,
doesn't
and
travel, so enjoy it over there.
I missed a little bit, so
Oh no.
no, it's not huge. It's honestly not huge. But Jack said I find it a refreshing substitute for food,
Yes.
but it was supposed to be I find it a refreshing meal replacement, and he ad-libbed it.
Oh, okay.
So
I think it's
I was going
funnier
to say
than a
about
substitute for food. Yeah.
yeah, I was going to say about Don Davis. So Don actually volunteered to have Hammond retire so that Jack could take command, and this would make things a lot easier for RDA's like reduced schedule. And I think, according to Joe Malozzi, this was typical of Don's incredible generosity.
It's not just
That's
that.
so
His health
generous.
reasons were also
His health.
beginning
It's all
to
a
become
combination.
problem.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think, David, when Robert Cooper talked to you about Don, he described him as just the loveliest guy who was incredibly generous and gracious about the transition and never made a big deal about his health issues. And he
Yeah.
called him a trooper. So he said that Don felt quite lucky to have had the opportunity and wasn't resentful at all about stepping aside. And
He only had 1 or 2 days a
Jessica-
week, so
Yeah.
yeah. Jessica Steen also mentioned in her interview how watching Don perform reminded her of his ability to hold that weight so well as the father figure of the show. And this sort of represents a pretty major shift in the show's structure after 7 seasons. And it's made all the more meaningful knowing how gracefully Don like handled the transition for the character. Because he'd kind of been like an anchor in the series from the beginning.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's going to be weird having Jack replace him as general. Urias Tosh said this two-parter is peak Stargate. Really, season 7 and 8 has some of the best stuff in the series. I agree. I think that season
Yeah.
7 to 8 has some of the peakest Stargate. And Urias Tosh followed it up later saying Ascension Diner in season 8 is just perfection.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I agree. I love it so much. I'm
Absolutely.
I'll
excited.
have the truth with a side of clarity, please.
Yeah. And it tastes like syrup.
I love this exchange here.
Yeah,
As
so do
Bluetooth
I, 'cause you
devices were
think
beginning
she's
to come to
been
their
such
own.
an idiot.
Yeah. I really don't care. It's like, oh my God. He goes,
There
okay.
it is. Yeah. Get used to it, girl. You're going to have them in your ear the entire time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I would think they would have really good cell reception in there or really good landlines.
They need to have good connections in there
Oh,
because
see,
if the
now
end of the
she
world
sounds-
happens, you can't be, stopped by
That's
Wi-Fi
it.
or connections.
Wait, yeah, let me just find a good signal. What was that? The world is ending?
Yeah. Sorry, what?
Sorry, Daniel sort of claims that
Yes.
he was staring at the Stargate for hours, which contradicts the original movie where he only saw the gate after deciphering the
Show
address. He's just like embellishing the truth to ensure that we understands how invaluable he is.
Yep.
Yeah.
He
it's
may
very
indeed be
self-serving,
doing
but
that.
yeah.
Yeah. That's a really good rationale to think about. I never thought he was lying. I just thought that in the movie we watched the James Spader version, not the Michael Shanks version
Yeah.
of that universe.
I would have found it really interesting if they went back and reshot the movie with this cast and how that would have looked.
I don't know, it might have been kind of jarring.
To have
Yeah.
Jessica, I'm sorry, I didn't catch you. What did you ask?
Having this cast do the original film, like having Michael
Yeah.
Shanks and RDA instead, would have been interesting to see.
Yep.
There would
It
have been
wouldn't have
no
gotten the
role
box
for
office attention it needed.
Amanda.
No.
Yeah.
And also Michael would have been like 18, 17.
Yeah, I
A
was going to
wee
say
baby.
So,
a wee
yeah.
baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, kind of a little bit harder to kind of imagine him as being a scholar if you're like 18.
Mhm.
I love that this is the same Dr. Weir who in like 2 years, no, in about a year, is going to be going over to the Janai and being like, "Give us your bombs.
Yes.
We need to use them on the
That's
road."
exactly right.
It's so cool. It's interesting to see that transition where she realizes the need for them, but still has tries to have a balance.
Well,
know?
I mean,
It's
New
hard.
Order is all about, she's talking about, trying to stop nuclear proliferation. And
Yeah.
then she's
Yeah.
at the end of season 1 of Atlantis, she's trying to increase nuclear proliferation.
Yeah.
So,
It's hard. It's a hard balance to strike when you're gonna die.
Yep.
Yeah, when you have so many people that are relying on you as well.
Yeah.
oh God, he's right.
Oh, she is gonna. And that's
You
why
have
she's
no idea, Daniel.
she's gonna change her opinion. She's got a long way to go. Yeah.
Gonna see the gate in action.
Is it just me, or is it a little bit cheap the way that they just jump into Atlantis going, "Hey, we found it," like 2 minutes in
We found what?
from this Atlantis?
Well, I
Because
mean,
they have all of this build up,
they had to move the
and then
story
it
along.
starts. I know. It's always felt a bit jarring.
Yeah.
I wish they futzed around with it a tiny bit more in SG1, just a tiny bit.
Well, it's what it's called New Order Part 1 and 2.
I know, but again, they were too busy with replicators.
There's a pretty good Weir B plot in the first hour. So
I absolutely love that. That's my favorite part of the whole thing. The replicator stuff, get out of the way. The weird stuff is actually my favorite.
yeah, the
of those
gold,
two, so.
the gold stuff with Amaterasu and all of them. It's great. Oh, look at his face. Like, I don't understand.
He's like, "Where's Hammond?
Hammond,
of
you've lost
Texas?"
a few
He's fallen in
pounds.
battle.
Yeah,
You've grown some
grown some
hair.
hair. Yeah, exactly. Fallen in battle.
The way he's like disgusted looking at her, because like to
I don't
him,
know if it's disgust,
no,
it's
no,
just
no.
like-
But to him, seeing her means like Hammond's died. That's his immediate assumption.
Yeah.
is that
His
he's
First,
lost
well,
someone.
he knows how
Power changes hands.
well, he knows that Hammond wouldn't go without a fight. So
No,
he's like, okay,
exactly,
why
exactly.
is this?
True.
Why is this happened? Yeah.
But I'm sure with the Jafar as well, like if someone dies, they immediately get replaced pretty quick. So he's like, "Oh,
Admiral Minel, where has one of the most tragic character arcs at the end. I'm seeing a lot of names I
I
haven't seen
know.
before. Welcome to all of
No.
you.
Yeah, I'm still, I can't wait to get to, that episode of Atlantis in like 5, 6 years. And
When
and
you're turning 40.
I know, and just be devastated.
So a new president is installed in the United States on, I believe, the 20th of January. It is not the 20th of January in Washington, and it is certainly not the 20th of January at Cheyenne Mountain for the exterior shots. I'm just saying. And
Yeah.
I made that point clear to Martin Wood. I said, you really should have gone down there and gotten winter shots at Cheyenne Mountain because there is winter there for more than half the year. And Martin
Seasons
said
do occur.
nothing about that. He just kept his mouth shut.
I meant
Yeah.
hindsight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Puts it into
Hammond's the real
perspective.
president of like the world.
President of the world.
Well, he's the first line of defense.
It's
Yeah.
absolutely mental. Like he really does have the hardest job.
Mm.
Yeah.
I like that they've got a prior relationship.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
It's an old. It's a.
Healthy.
Yeah.
It's an old one. But
Yes.
yeah, that
But
was a
they
lot of
obviously
hair ago.
have-
Was a great line.
Yes.
Yeah.
They obviously have a decent amount of respect for one another.
And Kinsey delivered Florida all by himself.
I know that's a good
The
thing.
elderly well, it's the elderly demographic is what it is.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, it's referred to as America's stinky butt. So I don't know anything about Florida myself, but all I hear is that. So
There's a lot
I
of
imagine
Haitians
it's kind
down
of
there.
like I imagine it's kind of like Queensland in Australia. It's just very hot and sticky like all the time. And
yeah,
people go there to retire.
that
Thursday's
that
not
makes
good
sense.
for us. That's why I told Jessica when I did my interview with her. She's like, I felt so unprepared. I'm like, Jessica, Weir came in on a Monday. They got attacked on a Thursday. You were there for 3 days. Give yourself a
Yeah.
break. It's
Yeah.
okay that you were like
That's a good point.
wound up. And she laughed really hard at that, so she got it.
Yeah, give yourself a break. Don't be so hard on yourself, Jessica. She handled this with quite a lot of grace, considering.
Yeah,
And she's got Kinsey trying to weasel his way in.
it's nice because it's quite a full circle moment again because Kinsey's back at this briefing room table arguing about the Stargate program again, just like in politics in season 1. And so
Yeah.
it's quite an emotional moment, to be honest. And again, I just want to say that I hadn't seen politics by this point. So when I first saw Kinsey was in season 4, that was confusing. And I hadn't seen politics, so I hadn't realized that he had tried to shut down the program like this before.
Oh my God.
So, again, the way I saw Stargate was awful.
Oh,
you do?
I kind of like the symbolism of him sitting at one end of the very long table and then SG1 and Braytek sitting at the other.
Yeah.
It's just, they
My
obviously
autograph
have
from Ronnie is
opposite
actually of
views.
this shot here of him sitting here staring at them across the table from the
Oh,
opposite
snarling
view.
at them from across
Yeah.
the table. Okay.
That's my autograph I have from him.
Did you meet him in person or did you have to order the
No,
autograph?
my dad's friend actually went on my behalf, and anytime he went to a convention that had people who were in Stargate, he would just go straight in there and like get me whatever autographs he could. So he got me Ben Browder and Jason Momoa and Christopher Judge and Ronnie Cox, and I was like, damn, he's getting everyone. So
As a good friend.
yeah, I appreciated it greatly.
So Jack is about to use his first ancient word, Dorantus.
Yes.
So I think it's pretty safe to say that the ancient language has crept into his vocabulary a little faster than last time. So
It's got to go faster. They only got a
it's-
few days.
well, exactly. Yep, condensed schedule, and I think it suggests as well that maybe the download was a little bit more significant than the first time around, or perhaps more
Or
aggressive.
Maybe he was more accustomed to it after the first time, so his brain was able to fast forward some of that learning.
Oh,
smidge.
I didn't think about that, but that actually makes a lot of sense. I like
Yeah,
that.
like you develop neural
Yeah.
pathways for like learning
And
new
it kind of
things,
like
so-
it like expanded his brain and opened
Yeah.
up new pathways. And so yeah, I like that.
Thank you,
Also,
thank you.
we just heard him say his last for crying out loud. That is the last
Oh
time that he uses
no.
his catchphrase.
That's I'm getting sad now. We're like getting toward the end of this era of Stargate and we're entering a new one and I'm starting to get bummed out now. Um
I'm getting bummed out because like the Jack era is nigh, and
yeah.
that makes me very sad.
The only thing that makes me feel better is that the Vala era is incoming, so I'm
That's
excited.
true. That's true. And we've got some good seasons ahead, just
Yeah.
different seasons. And I am excited
Yeah.
to kind of fall in love with McKay
Oh, me too. Oh,
very,
I'm always
very
in love with McKay.
gradually.
Yeah, I'm so honestly, I would do anything for that man. He is my world. He's so arrogant. He's such an ass, and I love him.
Oh, he's so on the spectrum. It's just not
I know. I
acknowledged.
think that's why I love him so much. I think that I just really, I because of how on the spectrum he is and how he can be. He's so frustrating, but he's
Yes.
so passionate to not die. That I really love how awful he becomes when he's trying to live. So,
Yes.
DEFCON 3, look at that. I love seeing when the DEFCON number moves when the apocalypse is incoming. It
I wonder
excites me.
whatever happened to that DEFCON sign.
By the way, audience, in case you haven't realized, David's said be right back to us privately. So that's why he hasn't spoken in a while. So just letting you know. Ah,
Okay,
I'm
so
tired.
I think Weir's like decision to consider Jack's proposal kind of shows she's willing to listen despite political pressure.
Yeah, she's
And
not
I
a
think that's
pushover.
huge because Kinsey's about to like throw some weight around in here.
Yeah. He's gonna swing that big old, I'm not gonna say it around.
Yeah, I'm surprised he hasn't had a stroke.
Honestly, he's always so angry and so
It
like,
really
ready to
is.
commit a crime that I'm shocked. Gecko Fett said, never noticed a DEFCON moving up. Yeah, you're welcome. They said thanks. I'm not just saying you're welcome because, you're welcome. They said thanks. So,
Oh, he just thinks he can put everyone in his back pocket
I
and just
know.
no one is taking him up on his offer, like including Woolsey in the last episode.
I think the only like thing that loves him in this world is his dog. And that's only because his dog doesn't realize he's the worst.
Emotional kind of goodbye, like a potential final goodbye. I think
Yeah.
it really adds a lot of gravity to this situation. And Tilga's got
Yeah.
such a serious
At
look on his
least
face, like he thinks he's never going to see Jack again.
the nice thing about this time is that last time he was kind of trapped and he was like, I've got to go home. But like he didn't really have a home to go to the first time at the end of season one when this happened during
Mm,
politics. While this
yes.
time he's been able to secure a new home for himself and his family, thanks to the years of fighting. So it puts into perspective how much they've really changed everything after so
Mm.
long. So yeah.
Absolutely. I actually love I love that like Jack's determination to finish the crossword puzzle like Sam gave him in part one could like symbolize him trying to complete her last request before it's too late or simply seeking distraction from his fate. I think that either way, it's quite a brilliant use of this puzzle. It's like a plot device that actually
Yeah.
provides actual clues. I really like it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think behind the scenes, this is RDA's 150th episode. I didn't know if that meant part one or as Lost City as a whole, but we'll go with Lost City as a whole.
This seems to suggest that he doesn't actually hear himself say the ancient.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
other
that's what I
times he's
thought.
like, that was a joke. That was not a joke. I didn't do that on purpose.
Yeah.
Which is, I go back and forth on it. Maybe he just is, at a certain point begins to
It all
recognize
becomes
people's
part of it.
reactions are weird. And so he's like, I guess
Well,
just assume that I said an ancient word.
I've said things
Mm.
wrong at times, and people have gone, "You said something wrong," and I've gone, "No, I didn't." So like maybe it's just that planet
He
label
doesn't know what he's
name
doing.
following still you not.
If he came up with that, that is brilliant.
Yeah. Honestly, the banter here and
Love
with the
it.
and with the at situation is some of the
Yes.
funnest dialogue in this show.
Yes, it's very well written for sure.
Their chemistry is just, they're 7 years in,
Thurman.
doing so good.
So what is 10 letter word for celestial body? I can't figure it out.
Uma Thurman. I mean,
Obviously.
It
God isn't
does.
God. God is actually
I'm hungry.
Uma Thurman.
They wouldn't be far off.
Exactly.
And have you seen Kill Bill? She's a badass.
Exactly.
yeah.
There are few movies,
And she
two
was
parts or
pregnant.
otherwise, that I have watched where I've had as much fun as I've had watching Kill Bill. We're in the commissary, and everyone's
guys.
enjoying their Jello.
Yeah. Brock LaRouche Teonas.
So
Lost in Fire.
yeah, so in the DVD commentary, the producers admitted that the name meaning Lost in Fire was illogical since the ancients would have named it upon first colonizing
Yep.
a habitable planet, not after the fact.
Or it became its name after they lost it, when they made
That's
it
true.
lost.
Yeah.
Don't they also reference this? So they say Teoth
Proc LaRouche Teonas.
core.
Yes, Proc LaRouche Teonas. It was one of the earliest Atlantean cities. It was abandoned when they discovered the
And
star
they
was
mention
nearing
it
the
during
end of its life.
Pegasus Project,
That's
right?
what. That's both of those references are Pegasus Project.
Yeah.
Great exchange.
Stop that.
Yeah.
So good.
He looks at it and he sees at. I wish
And then
they
in a second,
maintained the
he's gonna see
consistency of this with
Yeah.
syllables for all points on the constellation.
Yeah.
I actually love that detail. Like,
But you
know,
can't
each
exactly
symbol
do
has a
it
phonetic
with Valos
equivalent.
Core
Yeah.
No.
or Teofac LaRouche because there's not 6 of them.
So when I see hourglasses now, I look at them and I go, shh. And people don't get it, obviously. They
You
just think
do?
I'm on one. Yeah. Because it just looks like an hourglass to me.
It does look like an hourglass.
Shh.
It's a
Yeah.
constellation.
Yeah, but in my head, it's a shh. So. That's a lot of.
That's a
For
big
doing
leap.
syllables, though, shouldn't it be just Roosh?
Yeah.
I don't know.
What I love is how they don't match, is how beautifully drawn all the other constellations are, and then Michael Shanks's like crappy little point of origin at the end.
Yeah, he probably didn't draw the other symbols. He's just added the
Yeah.
I forgot
Earth
we've
symbol
actually
at the
tried
end.
going there before.
Roger
We've
just said, Nicole,
tried.
I think about that too. Yeah, see, hourglasses are now shh. Crushed it.
crushed it.
Look what just said. 10-letter word for celestial body is satellites. There's an answer.
Oh, well,
That's a good
that's a
answer.
reasonable answer. Yes.
That is that. You know what? I'll take it. That is
Yeah.
canon. I love that is just the gate room, but they ripped out the
Yeah,
walls
the
and
wall
just
in
covered
between
everything
it.
up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Exactly right. Malplab, which we've seen in I can't remember what episode it was. I think it.
Oh no,
Was
it
it
was
in
it was no,
Ergo?
it was Ergo, yeah.
Yeah, because it was on
Because
one was like
Sam's
suspended.
in there, and then she gets
She
called
gets
to
she gets a
commissary.
whiff of Well, she gets
Pie.
called with her nose. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is reused footage from the Serpent's Venom.
The exterior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shellac.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it ends similarly, just not here.
Oh, Ronan.
So this actor is what's his name?
Mark Warden.
And he has also played Alexander Roshenko in Deep Space Nine.
he looks like he could be
has.
the brother to Tanith.
Yep.
He does look like
Tanith's
Tanith.
evil
So
little brother.
he's mainly a video game voice actor.
That is what I want to hear.
At the
Yes.
minute.
Carry
so he did Diablo 4 and
Ooh.
Red Dead Redemption 2. And
Oh.
fun fact, he was actually a Mouseketeer on the all-new Mickey Mouse Club. And for 5 seasons, he worked alongside stars from like NSYNC, Britney Spears, Kerry Russell, and Ryan Gosling.
Brilliant. God, you see, look, he's so like sweet and innocent here, and it's like you're gonna betray us in 20 minutes.
Yep.
Yes, he will.
You
For his
turd.
god. Yeah.
This joke is so lame, and I love her for it.
Oh, I love how Jack brings it up.
That's the weir that we know in there with that
Yeah.
line.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
sense
say,
hope for you.
Oh, because they get along so well.
In 3
like,
seasons, she's going to be
Jack and
hugging
Weir.
him.
Yeah. Love it. Stargate is so good at bringing in new people and just making them comfortable. I love it.
Well, that would be the actors as well. That
Yeah,
would be
for
hard.
sure.
It's a beautiful combination.
Yeah.
It's a great show.
That shot from Jolinar's memories just been used again and again.
Someone tried using that against me for a guess the episode, and I was like, you can't give me that shot because it's used across so many episodes.
many.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I was like, I could give you all the episodes, and then you tell me which one was right.
The fact that they thought that they could use that as a shot to identify an episode means that they had no business picking the shots.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did they mean it as like a?
I think they were deliberately trying to catch me
joke?
out, and I went, "Look, I
okay.
could tell you which
Oh,
one
okay.
it is."
Yeah.
So
many
like 5 of everything.
of the
So,
quietest scenes are on this cargo ship.
yeah,
So those are both used. Those are both from
Front ache.
Yeah, those are both from Fifth Race. We need to go faster. And you intend to
so
do that how?
I forever I get it, but I'm still mad about it that they took out the Sam and Jack kiss that was planned for this episode.
Thank you.
In
Almost
the
kiss.
I forgot about that.
in the engine
Yeah.
room. It really upset me.
So this is the real world Air Force Chief of
General
Staff,
John P. Jumper. That's right.
So
Jumper, love
appearing
it.
as himself.
Yep.
So he was originally supposed to appear in season 6, but he couldn't make it to Vancouver due to the war. And because of his position, Jumper wasn't paid for this role, and the Air Force film coordinator said that he had a great time.
Cute.
That's right. But he didn't do any ADR, and you'll notice that later on in the episode.
What? Because his sound is slightly different.
His sound
because-
is the sound
yeah.
is not
It's not as
Oh.
crisp.
recorded.
Yeah.
You'll notice it when
Okay.
he's sitting on the sofa later on in the wide shot. There was
I
no place
remember.
to
I
mic him.
remember
Right.
wondering why he sounded so far away while
Yep.
everyone else didn't. Yeah.
At least he got
Oh,
lines.
That's actually a good point.
I just thought, because I didn't realize the facts, I just thought maybe he just wasn't a good actor, and so they had to just not make him as, loud. Is what I
Well,
thought
it
as a
makes
child.
sense. Like, he'd be a very busy guy. He might not have had time to re-record.
Yeah.
So Canada has been added to the list of countries currently in the know.
Huzzah.
Yes. Yes, well, they are neighbors, so
Yeah.
They
bit
are.
awkward.
Mexico doesn't know.
Urias Tar said I didn't
Oh,
need that
that's a
kiss
good
at all.
point.
No, it's not the right time, but I do wish we had it only because
I always need
they
it,
never kiss.
but
Yeah.
it doesn't.
I always
It
need
doesn't
it,
make
but it
sense
doesn't
for the
fit.
story. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Jack's improvised modifications to the cargo ship engine sort of demonstrates exactly the kind of creative problem solving that Rob Cooper mentioned in one of his interviews on Stargate. So he talked about being resourceful as the producers. So what he meant was, like, just as the production team would repurpose expensive sets like the opportunity with the X-Men Oval Office, the characters show the same adaptability in using whatever technology they have available to solve impossible problems.
Jack just resigned, everybody.
He resigned. They can kiss. He
I
resigned.
know.
They could do
I remember
it.
thinking that. I'm just like, they can get it on. So this is
This is
sort
what
of
he
a
did in
little
Window
bit-
Opportunity. He resigned and then he kissed her.
Yeah, but you're missing the
That's
point
true.
of it. So
I
I mean,
know.
if she allows herself to get closer to him, she may not. He may need to do something that right.
Yeah.
loses objectivity.
Yeah.
Exactly
So
right. It's the whole
there are
point.
two. That was sort of one of two references to The Empire Strikes Back. So Sam
Yeah.
starting to tell Jack that she loves him, and then he says, "I know,"
Yep.
and also Jack being frozen.
Yeah.
so
That's right. And carbonite.
Their carbonite moment coming
Mm-hmm.
up. Ah, Harak.
There
Failing
he
upwards.
is, failing upwards.
So
Michael
it's
Adams
his final appearance.
It sure is. Before he goes sky high.
Last episode. Well,
His last
in
line, our
theory.
weapons are of no use, and then
That's
he
it.
dies.
I'm
Yes.
so glad that they brought him
Sucker.
back. That was great.
Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, I loathe him, and I love to
loathe
loathe
him.
him. Yeah.
I think, yeah, I always found that his performance was quite theatrical. Like, I
Yes.
kind of almost
very
imagined him
Shakespearean.
singing on stage. Yeah.
Yes.
Like the
yeah.
pronunciation and just the way he projects himself.
See him singing about his love for Anubis.
I would love to see that as
like
an
if-
onstage musical. That would be so good.
If the
I
Jafar
love my
sang,
God.
Yeah, if they sang things like hymns like we did toward the Gould, I feel like he'd be leading those hymn moments.
I'm sure it's something
Oh my
similar to the
God.
Tok'ra chant and Continuum.
Yeah,
It'd be very Gregorian.
I'd love to hear it. I love
I can
Gregorian.
imagine like having backup dancers that are like
So
like
Rainmaker
using a
did
staff weapon.
Yeah.
Rainmaker did all of the Proclarush Theanos stuff,
Yeah.
and I think Image Engine or some I can't remember who it was who did Antarctica, but Rainmaker only got to do they kind of regretted it, so they got all of
Yeah.
their turn in Rising, so because they did
Yes, they
all of the
did
effects for
split.
Rising
They did split the effects between I think 3 different companies, I think I saw.
for
So Dominance.
Lost City, yeah,
That's right. That's an order.
yeah.
There we go. I love the
So
way
I
that
think
Teal'c's
she's
like, what?
I know, and she's clearly uncomfortable with the role reversal, like especially given Jack's, condition and their,
Yeah. Did you see the look she
unspoken
gave him?
feelings.
I love his comment
I
here
think
as
it's
well.
interesting to
his comment
see
was funny.
the hesitation, knowing how confidently she'll embrace command roles like later on and also in Atlantis.
It's funny. It's she's confident, but she always has that little bit of like, can she do it?
Self-doubt.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
even Teal'c has to kind of give her a bit of a pep talk when she first goes to Atlantis. But he's
So
so
That's
good at
true.
it.
Darren and I summarized that Teonas was actually the outpost. So Proclarush Teonas is the planet's full name with the designation of the outpost in it. Because later on he says Terra Atlantus, and Terra is Earth's name, and Atlantus outpost is the name of what's left after Atlantis leaves. Atlantus outpost is the little facility that remains on the ground there. So
Oh,
Oh.
also, in a minute, I just want to remind everyone that I also had not seen the Tritonin become a thing prior to this. So when I saw Braytak get stabbed, I was so
Oh, you thought he
horrified.
was stabbed
yeah,
for reals.
Yeah,
yeah.
and then and then he said, I no longer have Sebia," and I went, "What? When did that? How did that happen?"
Ah,
Oh.
good point.
It's
James
kind of cool because
McDaniel's
it's
back.
I was surprised
yes.
more. Yeah,
I like to see him again. It's great.
I need to call him this week.
You should. You
Will.
definitely should.
I can't believe how they've gotten away
And
with
report
hiding all
back.
this from
Shot.
Earth
Yeah.
for so long. They're so like, how?
Yeah. Well, on the dark web they haven't.
Oh God,
Well, let's not go there.
what a
Oh
scary place.
no. So I think I read somewhere on Reddit that one of the ship that he's talking about would have had like several thousands of people on it. So they kind of, I guess, like don't really address the loss of all of those people later on.
I mean, the loss is about to be a
That would
lot
have
bigger
been,
for now.
yeah, I guess, but
Yeah.
that's a pretty huge asset to lose. It's a massive, massive ship that they're talking about. So, a set was constructed to double as both this lava rock outpost and
Yeah,
the
and
ice-covered
Antarctica.
Antarctic
Yeah,
outpost seen later. So
yeah.
they've cleverly like reused the same set under the guise of all ancient outposts look the same, as if they had like the same architect. And I think it's brilliant how they've literally explained away the budget restraints within like the story
Absolutely. Just
itself.
fill it
Yeah.
with smoke and put some red
A red
gels near the
light.
ceiling
Yeah.
and put some rocks on
You
the
won't
floor
even
and
know.
ta-da!
It's
Yeah.
funny because I don't like I don't watch behind the scenes for every episode, but this one I devoured it. It was one of the only DVDs I had that had
Yeah.
proper behind the
Juicy.
scenes, and so I got to see the
Yeah.
director's thing from Martin Wood's perspective, and then I also got to hear them do the commentary, and so it was really cool talking about this because I think he actually references working on Solitudes. And that was like I think one of the first like big productions he did for Stargate, where they had like to have a whole set made properly in there of ice.
I
And then he,
sold. Go ahead.
yeah, and then he just talked about how he was kind of back doing a similar thing again for Lost City. So it's just nice, full circle.
I
Oh.
sold
sold-
the maquette for this set through PropWorks.
The one that he uses in the behind the scenes in the
Yep.
oh
Yep.
David, I've always
With the
wanted it. It
little
was so
statues
cute.
of white clay and the
It was so cute.
construction
Oh my-
paper and yep.
I'm so
Oh,
jealous.
cool.
No, I love that. Evie, if
I
you've
took
seen
a
the behind
lot
the
of
scenes,
photos of it.
they're adorable. I want the photos, David, please.
I'll see if I can find them.
It's very exciting. I wanted like actual little blueprint versions of that I could print out on my computer and then build a mini one myself. That's what I really wanted growing up. Maybe piece together a little wooden one.
See where that would be. I'll poke around and find it.
No rush. Take your time.
But if I
See,
don't,
that gooey stuff I don't like. That with that I don't like that the
gel?
noise.
No, I
Yeah.
want to touch it.
Yeah, no, my brain doesn't like that.
It's the stuff that Thor is made of. It's silicon.
Yeah, no. The sound made me uncomfortable. Like the weird like noise. It's just like nope.
Yeah.
Nope. Ah. It's like someone's like eating, you know?
That's like a stress ball.
Ugh, I don't like the feeling of those.
It's
either,
like
to be
a
honest.
sex toy. Come on, let's be honest.
Yeah, that's the real problem.
It's like a gentleman's. It's a
implant.
gentleman's toy. It's the same material. So let's just go there. All right.
So, Martin Woods, I think, said on Dial the Gate that this moment was what Lost City was building toward, like the finding a power source you can control. And he said that this was the crucial discovery element that he wanted the episode to capture, describing it
Yeah.
as different from just blowing up suns. This was about finding technology that could actually be harnessed.
This blew my mind, and also really funny that Daniel's like, so wait, we not only are like we late getting here, but now we find out that
We
we
have
got
to
to
go
go
all
back.
the way back.
All the way back.
Like we're a million years late, and we are now far away. It's
Yes.
so good.
But it's not like they went for nothing. They got the power source.
Yeah,
No, they didn't.
that's what they needed, like,
had
the
to
way
go
That
all
he
this
makes that
way.
complaint.
That's it.
Yeah, here, and then Jack says no, which is
Yep.
great.
No. 0-point module.
ZPM time.
ZPM!
Really
Or
a
Didn't get its
ZPM.
name until
ZPM's
until
really
Lost
correct,
City.
but yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe.
Oh, Rising, yeah.
Here you go.
ZPM, he's Canadian.
Yes.
That's it. So there's a CG glow over it when it's plugged in.
Yeah.
Oh, that
The
makes
first few
sense.
had a little red light in the middle of it when it would
Yes.
connect and turn on.
Yep.
The rest did not.
Or as I like to call it,
Okay.
the it's gonna blow up one, because I think when it's gonna blow during Atlantis season 2, I think the ZPM starts to flash in the middle, the red bit or something.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
Here we go. Oh, right in the symbiote pouch, but there's no symbiote.
oh no.
Being betrayed by a mouseketeer.
Mouseketeer.
He's quite cute and small like a mouse, you know.
Yeah.
I can imagine
think
him
that's
with little
probably why
whiskers.
why they chose him, because he looks very
Yeah.
innocent. So according to the DVD commentary, the dome collapse that we see was originally supposed to happen when the Teltac accidentally bumped into it during Braytac and Ronan's fight here. Because, you know, no one was
Oh.
flying the ship they were fighting. So by the time, but I think time and the budget constraints meant that they changed it so that the transport rings caused the structural failure instead.
That makes
Interesting.
sense. That's so cool.
Yeah.
What a workaround.
Yeah, it saves one visual effects shot at minimum. So. Old, yes.
Making those
Weak,
visual effect
no.
shots till later.
That's
Jacob
it.
said, "This is the last time we're getting hairless Teal'c." By the way, yeah, I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
that's
Let's remember
true.
that.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
I mean,
He's been growing his
Mobius
eyebrows in,
too,
and then
but
he
yeah.
grows his-
Mobius,
Yeah.
he's wearing that Braytac cap to hide the hair.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Oh, Braytac's got the moves.
Yeah, he does. And not the fitter either. Braytac's
so
been
you
doing his
actually have a
exercise.
symbiote in your
Yeah.
pouch, brother.
Sucker.
There we go.
God, such a shame to like you lose such a young kid who's been so brainwashed. It's just really sad.
But like now they can take his ship, right?
Yeah. Dibs.
Dibs.
Now, Braytac, you're going to have to change the password to the rings.
Yeah, we all know.
We all know the password.
Oh dear. So people are making bad jokes. Lockhart just said, no symbiotes, so only Jaffa cakes. And Jacob goes, I don't think the Jafar could have Jaffa cakes as they contain dairy. Hey, look, Teal'c was
Oh.
eating ice cream, unless it was
Oh,
like
that's true.
dairy
It's not
free.
It's not that he can't, it's that he refuses to.
Yeah.
He doesn't like the association.
Fair point, yeah.
Oh, I genuinely thought that he was going to die in this moment. Even
Yeah,
though
me
he
too.
just keeps on, you know, fighting death.
I think it would have made Lost City more meaningful.
Yeah.
We just
for
lost Janet, though. I
certain-
think they
Yeah.
probably just
That's
wanted to
fair.
stay away from that.
But yeah, I mean,
I'm
Tony always said I would like to go out with a bang, and
yeah, he
he's more
doesn't.
than likely not going to go out with anything. So
My favorite
Mm,
thing, I'm glad he lives so that my favorite line from him can come up, which is the way that he kind of, I can't remember exactly how he says it, but he tells Teal'c that he's the son that he never had in
yeah,
Italian, and that
oh,
always hit me.
yes.
That really
that's a
hit
good
me.
point. Yeah, it's very good. I forgot
There's
Jack
still some
healed
good
him. That's
Braytech
absolutely
moments
Yeah,
to
right.
come. Yeah.
He's got the
So,
Ayana
you know,
ability.
it's
yeah.
a lot more advanced than last time for sure.
I forgot all about that. Human.
Oh, the Atlantis music is playing. Oh, the Atlantis
Yep.
music.
And we hear it
Yes.
Getting emotional.
again. We hear it again
We hear it at the
after.
end.
Yep, that's right. After he
Yeah.
freezes himself.
Yeah.
That was all it was supposed to be. And Joel was trying to come up with a B theme for uh, the Atlantis theme, and he reused that
Right.
moment. So because
There it is. There's the
it's in the
audio.
second movement.
Oh.
Yep, there it is with Jumper
Well,
not being too loud.
he only had 2 weeks to complete the score for this episode. So it's kind of cool that he created something that really stuck with him so much that he reused it in the spin-off series. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I have a disappointment in this scene.
Is it because you can't see the damage
Yeah, the lack of bullet
behind?
holes.
Yeah.
No, I really wish that he would have actually intimidated the president.
Oh, okay.
Because every time that Anubis comes in, it's just like everyone just puts him down, and it's like you don't really get a real chance to be scared by him.
I
And
guess, but I
wish
mean,
that they would
it
have
is
done
a
something to try to bring that room to heal a little bit, where it's like, oh my God, we need SG1. Please, are you guys out there? And he's like, you
Fair,
do whatever
fair.
you want with us. I am one nation among many. And it's like, all right.
He did a very Jack kind of approach.
very much
you
so.
know?
I kind of like it because like it's a hologram. I think his reaction to Anubis would have been a lot different if it was Anubis in the flesh, so to speak.
Too
But it's a
much.
hologram, so that's why he's a little bit more brazen than maybe he would have
Yeah.
been otherwise.
Look what's back. The capital
One of our
ship.
favorites,
Yeah.
that's about to go bust because that's expensive to get those shots.
Sure is. That is a
Oof.
real uniform you're looking at, folks.
Yeah.
It looks very stiff, but I guess they're not
Yeah.
built for comfort.
I was gonna say that they're built to make you look nice, give you good posture.
Yeah. Very impressive shoulder pads.
He's getting
Maybe
him
I
out
need
of the room
to
because
join
he's
the Air
about
Force
to.
so I can get good posture.
Yeah, we want the A team.
Yeah,
You're
look,
the
Yeah.
look at him go. He's
D
about to try and
team.
flee through the gate. I'm not gonna lie, I absolutely love the fact that he doesn't get to run.
I love it too. I think him like desperately begging Weir to let him escape really reveals his true character. Like for
absolutely. It's
all
all
of his
about
tough
him.
talk
And
and like
his
the
wife isn't
political
with him, or his
posturing.
kids, his grandkids aren't with
Yeah.
him.
His dog.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I think when it
Oscar's
comes
not with
down
them.
to it, when Earth faces real danger, he's nothing but a coward trying to save his own skin.
It's like when Samuels, his lapdog, was like, yeah, sir, with all due respect, I'd like to now gate through to the Alpha site, and it's like you're not going anywhere. You're going to stand here with the men and women of this base till the
Yes.
end, and it's like, yes, Hammond.
I have no problem with bad guys having a little bit of humanity. Like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know what? Instead of going back to SGC, just say, turn this thing around. I'm going to go see my wife.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have had a problem with that at all.
yeah.
But
No, I would have
if
found it,
if we survive this year
interesting.
through is much more of a
Yeah.
potent way to go. So
I love
This
here
is a
that he
great
can't
scene.
vocalize this. Yeah, so he just touches his
Oh,
face.
the
It's so
Yeah.
beautiful. It's like he can't use words to tell him everything that he would want to say. So he's like, "Here you go. I'm
But
telling
Till
you like
gets the
this."
message.
yep,
Message received.
that's it.
As a man of few words, he gets it.
Well, I mean that gesture's huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the ring
And, yeah,
platform
it's beautiful.
here, it only existed when they needed to prop it open and do some things inside of that. If that was not
Yeah.
necessary, they would have the reflective stencil on the floor.
Yeah.
That's the
always.
only thing that determined which was used. So Alec Coulson's satellites are about to, actually, they've already started to record all kinds of data.
That's right.
It's a great episode. I love that episode.
Is the Alex Coulson episode Covenant?
Covenant.
There we go.
You win, Nicole. Points for you.
It's hard to remember. I can barely remember the other ones, to be honest, so.
John launched Prometheus. Order Hammond to do his thing. And that was a great reveal. I wish that it wasn't revealed until right in the climax, that it was Hammond.
Yeah, that would have been awesome.
So he can say, yeehaw!
Well, yeah. SG1, this is Hammond. So as he shows up, but instead we see him getting ready to launch the ship. Here we go.
I love that she just called him a coward.
Yes.
Did you say the American way of life?
Out. Yes, he wants to procreate on another planet to retain the American way of life.
Jesus Christ.
He is a despicable.
It's a good thing she knows to do this. This is the only time we see the iris used in the dark. Yeah.
Yeah, you're a moron. You would have just gotten nuked if she didn't do that. See, he's never truly seen it when it's this dangerous. He always sees it when it's calm and collected. So, you know, eat doo-doo, Kinsey.
Grabbing her by the arm is not appropriate.
Really?
Also, this is Peter Cuffluck as Master Sergeant Connor. Remarkably, this is his only credited appearance and the only speaking role in the entire series.
Damn,
despite
we've seen him a
being
few
in
times.
94 episodes across all 10 seasons. And sadly, he actually passed away last year. He was only 72.
Amazing.
Who are you talking about, sir?
Yes.
Oh, what?
Not you, Doctor.
Your running mate. Ooh. And she gets a front row seat.
My goodness.
Yeah.
There we go. Thank you, Richard Woolsey.
Yes, that's what I literally wrote in my notes. Thank you, Woolsey.
Yeah. Would you shut the hell up?
And if this show wasn't, on normal times of day, I'm sure he would have said the F word. And I would have loved to hear it.
Here we go.
Let's go, Daddy.
So,
he looks good in that suit.
He does. And also, guess who that is, guys? That is Major Henry Boyd from A Matter of Time. So it's Kurt Max Runt returning from that time dilation field to play Colonel Kirkland.
Henry Boyd's team.
Henry Boyd's
dying
team.
in slow motion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Captain.
We're watching good people die slowly. Captain.
Yeah. You're right, sir. I can't believe that Kinsey was like, I need to go and be the leader of humanity and live this way of life and
the
dictate,
American dream.
and dictate how everything should be to everyone the way by my standard of living. Shut up.
Well, what are we going to do?
Goodness
Have it by your
gracious.
standard of living?
No, just
You're
have
going to
it.
go over there and say, oh, that's wrong. Oh, that's wrong. You can't be doing that to her. What, you don't let her drive that Alkesh? You don't let her drive? That's wrong. We all have our boundaries.
Calm.
Why don't you pull up a little bit there,
calm.
too?
Could you just imagine, like,
Antarctica is,
Kinsey,
awfully,
oh my
yeah.
god, could you imagine It's Good to Be King, but with Kinsey as king? Imagine having that episode.
Oh my God,
That would be
horrendous. That would have been
light years near that.
Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
that would have made it a lot
Like the
less.
most corrupt,
And
corrupt
Jacob
system.
did point out Walter is sitting by Hammond's side. So
Damn right he is.
Yes, he
it.
is. Yeah, it's good to see him off base.
Yeah.
Also, Mars SpaceX saying Cam Mitchell informing his wing they're
Right
heading
now.
to Antarctica to cover SG1.
That's
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's part of the
yes,
same
gravely
detachment
injured
thing, yep.
and gets his Medal of Honor.
Yeah. And they did
Dan
they
Ben,
did that sequence justice in season 9.
And Dan Ben reminded us this is where Stargate Timekeeper's PC game starts
That's
from.
true too.
That's true. That's a good point. Yeah, I actually thought about that yesterday.
I
It
love
starts right
Joel's
here, doesn't
music
it?
here. It's so
It's great.
cavalry, horseback, you know.
As a kid, this was like watching like a film in the cinema for me. This was
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I
Yeah.
think this episode kind of changed like my love for Stargate. Like it showed me like how big it could feel and be.
So in this sequence, they didn't have the budget to do what they wanted to do, which was to parachute down into the chasm. So he modified the rings to also use rings down there, because originally there wasn't a set of transport rings.
I like that they can use it to
Which suggests that gold tech
bury
is
a hole.
ancient tech
Yeah.
because
I
they
mean,
have
Yeah,
rings.
they've always said that they just steal, don't they, from everyone
That's
else?
true.
Yeah, but it's never been confirmed.
Yeah. Daniel Kolska said Walter had a seatbelt on, not common on starships, lol.
Oh,
I
he
like
did have a
that.
seatbelt.
He's like,
Okay.
if I'm gonna be on
I'm sorry.
spaceship, I need a seatbelt.
Yep, I'm in the Air Force. I want good dental and a seatbelt.
Exactly.
Here come our
I love
boys
that.
and
So
girls.
the massive
Thank you,
battle
David.
sequence showcases exactly what Martin Wood meant when he said to you, David, and Dalagate, that Lost City and 200 were the 2 episodes where they spent a massive amount of money and had the budget to make them what they needed to be.
Yep.
And the F-3OT squadrons, a Prometheus and the drone weapon effects represent the visual payoff of that investment. And I
sure
think it
do.
Yeah.
creates a very epic conclusion. And it's exactly what I think the team had in mind.
I
for
think they
this
also do a hell of a
episode.
job with the Siege Part 2.
Yeah, me too. I think
It's
it's
Baghdad.
incredible.
They've recreated Baghdad.
What I will say as well that I really love is I love seeing the fact that they reuse the shot of Prometheus going into orbit.
Yes.
And they use that again in Prometheus Unbound. When Vala hijacks the ship, they reuse the same shots of it being attacked
Yep.
to save money.
Is that Ingrid Cavallars?
What?
The pilot there.
Ah,
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I actually didn't write it down.
There we go.
I nearly for the Instagram post today. I put we were at an outpost for this episode because I always put the location. I nearly put McMurdo, but I was like, it's
that
technically
would have
an
been cool
outpost.
It's
too. But
near
Outpost,
McMurdo based.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They do mention McMurdo.
Yeah.
I always remember McMurdo because Walter yells it during Solitudes. He's like, just outside McMurdo, and then they all
Yeah.
start running to the
McMurdo,
helicopter.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
I want to remind you guys as well that I also didn't know what the hell a super soldier was. This was my first time seeing them, and I was like, what the
Must
hell
have been
is
pretty
that?
cool, yeah.
It was pretty scary,
Wow.
yeah. I went, when did that happen?
It's interesting when they decide to
flanking the background.
Yeah.
turn on his effect and turn off of his effect. It's in some shots and not in others.
I love that it's gonna solo, like raw dog Anubis' shit.
Yeah.
Like what?
Well, these are Asgard shields, so
Yeah.
thank God
Yes,
for it.
yeah,
But
they're very
doesn't Anubis
powerful.
have some stuff as well? Because they went into Thor's brain and nicked some. That's how they manage to defend
True
us.
too. That's why it only
Yeah,
lasts for so
yeah.
long.
Yeah.
It says one more shot, they're gonna take us out. Ramming speed. So I never
always
noticed the
hate the one more
stars in
shot.
some of those patterns before. Yes. Yeah.
Ah, here we go.
Ayana should have put
time.
herself in there.
Yeah. Doesn't he say dormata or something?
Sleep.
Later for
Yeah,
sleep?
similar.
Yeah. Which is so it's the word for sleep in Spanish is dormir.
There you go. Well, it's a Latin language.
Okay.
Exactly,
Similar,
yeah.
yeah, similar origin.
Urias Tasha Anubis should be aware of what those drones are given, his ascended knowledge. So he probably was like, "Mother f you, asterisk, asterisk, asterisk." Yeah,
He was probably
Jack's like,
pooping
yeah,
bricks.
I'm not buying this. Just
Yeah.
walk straight.
Pooping a half ascended bricks.
Half ascended bricks.
Do you think Anubis eats or defecates, or does he not need
No.
that, even though he's only half ascended?
No, I don't think he needs any of that.
Okay.
He's just got more time in his day. He doesn't
Sure
need to
does.
use the
Damn, I
bathroom
wish
or
that
cook
I
himself a
was half
meal.
ascended so I wouldn't have to consume things or, Yeah.
dead
Just leave them have it,
ZPMs. Get your
someone.
dead ZPMs here.
Give your dead ZPMs to Camulus.
There we go. Uh-oh. Good shot.
Wow.
Good
Ooh.
transition.
Yeah.
Here we go.
So Dan Payne is the only
Again, I
Cull
went, what the
warrior
hell is that?
credited
Dan
in
Payne
this
is,
episode,
yes.
so I think he was just duplicated.
You think so?
Multiple times. Yeah, he's the
Maybe,
only
yeah.
Cull warrior noted in the credits.
They also
He's-
do one shot at a time. They're
I don't
kind of
know.
all the close-ups.
Look at the little
are
red
one
light
shot at a
on
time.
this. See it flip on there? There you go.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yes, that's cool.
Well, there were two
Yeah,
Cull
so-
Warriors in the beginning of the episode when he knocked everybody out.
Oh,
on
no, I
their
think you're
ass.
right. I think
So
maybe they
the
did
other
have
one just
two for
wasn't
just
credited.
stationary
Maybe.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when they ping the thing to kill the Coal Warriors, I remember going, what? And then when I saw them shoot successfully, I went, oh, they must have figured that out at some point. That's interesting. Cool, okay. So again, having to piece together this damn show in the wrong order.
Yeah. It's the same
feel
two
like-
guys, Evie.
Yeah.
But for sure there's two of them.
The one on the right looked more like Dan Payne, just the way his arms move.
The
I was
tall
like,
one is
that's
Dan Payne.
Only slightly taller by like a hair's breadth, but his arms were sticking out like Dan Payne does when he walks around as the Cull Warrior. He has that kind of like big,
The big hulking stance.
yeah.
Yeah.
He walks with swagger, so his arms are always quite spread.
Yes. So
Oh, here we
we're
go.
about to release the ancient sky squids.
I'm really glad they didn't step on that when they left the ring platform, because they would have gone
Yeah.
straight through.
Yeah.
So nothing says advanced alien technology like a swarm
jellyfish.
of glowing calamari.
That's it.
Ancient calamari.
I'd love for an AI or someone to count just how many they think that there are.
That's, yeah.
It's like
They use
counting
a lot.
gumballs in a
Millions.
gumball machine.
Yeah.
We know
I
for a fact that
love-
like one can do a lot of damage. So
Yeah.
like
I love
this
the
is overkill.
the grin on Braytek's face. Like we
Yes.
don't see
We've
him
done it.
genuinely happy again until he sees like a naked, de-ascended Daniel wrapped in nothing but a flag.
He didn't deplete the chair of drones, did he? I don't think he did. No.
I don't
we
know
go.
if they really established that.
And they're
Oh, it just
smart
goes
drones. Look at
around.
that.
They're
Yeah,
very
exactly.
smart.
The way that they just saved Hammond by a split second.
Yeah, well, he says break off, but I think he would have still been in the blast radius of Anubis' ship.
sure.
But
Yeah.
it somehow it's saved from any damage.
It's like a giant hand.
His
reaching
last
out
line.
from
Yes.
Earth.
No.
Yeah, oh, of course. It's the obligatory bad guy ending. Yeah.
I do love that Anubis isn't dead. I love the fact that he keeps coming back in season 8 and I think it's really
Yes.
fascinating.
Yeah.
Like
That is cool.
he's the kind of bad guy I want to see all the
Also,
time.
so for like a half-ascended being who's supposedly sort of beyond mortality, like Anubis seemed very terrified of dying. I think the scream and the way he shields his, energy form
Well, that's why he
eyes from the
ascended,
blast,
isn't it?
it's
you
sort
know?
of it's fascinating that someone who exists partially as pure energy has such like a visceral fear of death.
Yeah.
Also, Michael Adamthwaite had a great take on Herak's fate. So he imagines him sitting in a burning wreckage, rethinking all of his life choices. And in Michael's head, Herak survives, grows his hair out, finds a beach somewhere in the universe, and just chills out eating fruit, thinking I should have gone to art school.
I've just imagined him as that meme that David sent me earlier of like the house on fire and the guy sitting in the middle going,
I'm
"This
fine."
is fine.
Yeah.
I'm fine. This is fine."
Fine. Oh.
How about I don't have to pay taxes for the rest of my life, Prez?
Yeah, I think that's quite
Yeah.
reasonable. Like there would be no taxes to pay if he didn't do this. So
That's true. Yeah.
So
here
that
we go.
radio
She calls him
chatter,
Jack.
we see that
Oh,
again.
so
in, I think,
iconic. We
sure
Avalon
do.
Part 1.
yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
The same ones, and they add to it.
That's the bright yellow. I
And
don't know.
that was also Jessica's last scene. So apparently, actually, I think David, you were gonna say why she left.
Yes. She. I heard that she said she said that she couldn't keep her mouth shut. She was going to a Burning Man event
Yeah.
at the time, which is
Yes.
something that she does every year.
That's
and
why I
something
was
she
so
takes very
surprised
seriously.
by-
And they were
not the Burning Man
concerned
thing.
that about her attention being divided. So she says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she said that I can only say that had I gotten the job, I would have put everything else down for it. And
Yeah.
I can't help
Yeah.
but wonder what the show would have been like,
Same.
Atlantis,
Yeah.
with her in
Yes.
it. And Martin
Yeah,
Wood
good
actually said,
point.
I think it would have been a gentler performance of Weir, like a more tender performance.
Yes.
And that would have had the character go in some different directions. We could have had 5 seasons of
Yeah.
Jessica Steen.
Mm,
So,
Yeah, I was so surprised to hear that that was the reason. I was just like, just because she wanted to go to Burning Man?
yeah.
Like seriously?
Well, she
That's
did
the
it every
reason?
year. So it was
I know,
Yeah,
but we all
she
do
does
things
like-
every year.
Go back
Like
and watch
20
my
years
interview
or
with her,
something.
and it's thorough and it's really good. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
really good interview. I did watch. I watched it ages ago. I think when you streamed it, it was one of the ones I was most excited to witness.
So where is it? So we're hearing Joel's music.
Yeah.
And
We
then we're
are.
talking about Atlantis.
Honestly, I remember watching this, going, "Oh, we were looking for that.
It was
Okay."
perfect.
But now going back, I'm like, damn, we really had to we got dragged on for a
Yeah.
while. you
Jacob,
know?
yes, that was an Armageddon reference with Jessica Steen in my head. So if I kick you in the balls and you don't know how to work your suit, what happens to you? A float away. Yeah.
Is it just me, or is Jack looking directly at Sam when he froze?
He absolutely is.
Yeah.
That's exactly what that was.
Yeah. Lockward said in the interview with David, she did not seem to enjoy her time in Stargate. I mean, she was kind of let
it
go
was a
for like
hard
kind
week.
of crappy reasons, and it was a hard week.
Yeah.
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 I think that if she didn't enjoy it, I don't think she would have come on.
No.
Yeah, true.
So I think she thought it was fine what she had, but
Yeah.
in her own words, it was so brief. It was a blip. It was just a
lost
beginning.
A TV show for reasons that I think are quite silly. So I think that if she has any kind of bitterness towards that, that's completely fair. And but I think she's a professional from what I saw.
Yeah. And casting is purely subjective.
Yeah.
Yes,
So there's
it
only
is.
so much you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, we finished season 7. I can't believe it.
Welcome to the end of season 7. That was Lost City, everyone. Thank you for joining us.